Right, are we all ready?
I'm always ready.
Just pretend that we've heard in the soundboard here. And welcome to Off the Stage Podcast. It's the show where we take musicians off the stage and into the pub to talk about the ins and outs of the music world. I'm James Berry, this is Conor Michael, and we are joined by Alex James. And we are actually, should I have mentioned before that we've got a bit of a change of scenery?
Well, no, people will know if they're watching this. So, and if you're not, we have a YouTube channel, check it out.
So we usually record at the ISIS pub, but we're actually at the Peacock, which is a pub further down in Sunderland. And the reason we're here is because upstairs in the ISIS there's no disabled access. And Alex, you have muscular dystrophy.
Yeah, that's right.
For those who don't know, would you want to explain what muscular dystrophy is?
Yeah, so I have a particular type of muscular dystrophy. So there's like 42 types or something like that, something mad. But I have one of the rarest of them all. It's called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I was diagnosed with that when I was about 4. They took a bit of muscle out my leg, tested it, and it turned out that I had Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is basically a muscle wasting condition. Which is, there's lots of symptoms of muscle weakness over time and stuff like that. So it is a brutal condition, obviously life limiting. But I'm kind of making the most of it with the music and stuff.
Living life to the flipping full.
Living the life to the full.
Become a rock star, just it's the way that you do it. So what made you want to kind of get into music? Was it that kind of I just want to?
Oh, it was quite. I mean, when I was in school and stuff in secondary school, didn't really pay much attention to it. I knew I had the condition, so I was trying to live normal, pretend I didn't have it. I was very in denial of the condition, and I wouldn't use the wheelchair. I'd just struggle and all that. But when I was in school, I did a drum lesson when I was in year 9 or 8, I think. And he was come on in and have a try on the drums, and then I just had the natural kick for it. So I played a simple 8 beat. And I was
that's all you need,
cool.
honestly.
It's cool,
every single pop song.
I think it was
mine just A.
I think it was All Right Now by Free, I think. So it was All Right Now. So it was a simple beat, and he was oh, you have natural talent and stuff for the drums.
That's cool. So
I basically started on the drums. I thought nothing of it, kept going, did a few grades, you know. Then I went on to college to do music and stuff like that.
It's cool.
So obviously music's been in my family. I had a granddad who passed away before obviously I was born. And he used to play music a lot. So on both sides of my family there's musicians who were not here anymore, but they did do music.
So you've got
so I've kind of
it's like calling then, isn't it? Really?
I'm kind of following that.
That's cool.
The track of I don't know.
You make your own destiny, don't you? Really?
I feel like the conditions allowed me to do that, because if I was just a normal individual, well, I'm not saying normal, able-bodied, and I didn't have a condition, I feel like I'd not be doing this. It'd be a bit boring.
You'd be out in some office somewhere doing statistics and.
You kind of got an extraordinary life.
The thought of that scares us.
I think it scares everyone these days.
I did that first. That was horrible.
The fact I can do music.
Still doing it.
You don't have to be this able-bodied person to do music. I've just figured out my own way to do it.
That's cool.
I mean, college and that was hard, because people accepting I was in a wheelchair doing music, and I was actually good at it. They didn't like that, so there was a bit.
There's a jealousy there,
I don't know. It's just people.
I'm
why are you jealous? Just embrace it. I think they just thought I was wanting to be the best or something, and try to show off, and I've never been like that. I just want to do the music and live.
Exactly,
That's all I'm doing.
Mint. You must be doing something right then if you
exactly.
You can't get haters if you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
That's it. They all appear.
Honestly, man. People.
So just to quickly go into our first segment, what are we drinking?
What am I drinking? I'm drinking a lemonade.
Don't underrate.
I take a lot of medication, so I can't take any. I can't drink alcohol. So which is a bit of a nightmare. But
no, it's probably for the best, to be honest.
But like, I'm as crazy as can be. So like, add alcohol. I don't know what that would make.
You don't need like everyone else. You don't need alcohol.
I used to drink a lot when I was like a teenager. Like, well, I'm still. Well, I'm not a teenager. 26 now.
It's very much not a teenager.
I'm still a teenager.
That's 7 years of not being a teenager.
That's one dog year away.
That's your maths for you.
God. Give me a heart failure, lad. Getting
I went to the Guinness this time.
You know what? I'm going to start doing more Guinness. Quite like the Guinness.
You should do. You play Irish pubs all the time.
I know.
It's complimentary.
Yeah.
But where we normally record, they always have like their own ales and stuff. So you never actually get a lot of branded stuff. So it's a good little treat to get a little Guinness.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I went in the habit of, we play Irish bars a lot, and at the gig I'd get a pint, but then I was doing like 9 gigs a week there, and then another gig elsewhere, and it was kind of like, you're going to feel the Guinness belly hitting you, so this is a treat pint now. I don't have them with every gig. That's why you'll see me, I'll have a water or a Red Bull. Red Bull's bad enough.
I find it drives me throat out as well, so like when I'm singing, like I'll like break and stuff, and I'm like, whenever your voice breaks, you're like inside, you're like, and everyone else is
use
like,
Vocal Zone.
I mean, the other week we were at Newcastle recording.
I was ill as well.
And there was this high note in the song we were recording, and he couldn't hit the high note, could you, mate?
I was gutted.
You couldn't. But
I wrote all these songs myself as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did you write it so high then? I was like, because I like a high note.
Yeah.
It sounds right when I do it. Right.
No, I change the keys in all my songs all the time, depending on how I feel.
I think that's the right thing to do. Like, I did musical theatre in college, university, and I kind of like brought the key down and make it easier to. Well, it's not easier to sing. It's just to sit on your voice bit.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm like that with covers. To be honest, like I'll rarely play these days like the actual key of the cover.
Yeah.
I'd play it to fit my voice. You know, just
That's the way you should do it, though.
If it's too high,
the tone of your voice.
That's it.
Like try and sing like a high Freddie Mercury song.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Wouldn't even try.
No
that.
chance.
Couldn't even attempt that.
What you got, fella?
I've actually got neck oil. It's very.
I nearly went for that. That's a good alternative.
I like the neck oil. Do you know everyone does neck oil? Everyone has the neck oil, and it's a nice, refreshing, fizzy drink. So just
sounds good.
Perfect for a Thursday rainy afternoon. The Peacock.
Oh, it's rainy.
Well, it's got rain.
Bit windy.
You know what? I would. It's rained a lot more since I left the club.
Yeah.
So just going back to yourself, we were saying before the podcast, you were talking about finding venues that are like accessible and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you tend to find that's quite a challenge with the grassroots venues as much?
I think it's a lot more of an issue for like grassroots venues because obviously funding and stuff. So I don't go in and kind of like have a go, you know what I mean? Why aren't you accessible?
But yeah,
it's more like I try and take an approach where I'm like trying to physically talk to them, you know what I mean? Trying to negotiate and figure out if we can do something.
Yeah.
Like this afternoon I'm going down the Independent to talk to Ben Richardson about accessing the Independent, like to try and sort a gig there and try and sort of ramp out. That's the right length to get on the stage.
Yeah.
But obviously the downstairs venue is also like the big cap venue as well.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out ways to bring it down, like tables and stuff, and like so we're trying to change it up,
fill it out a bit.
Because obviously we're just starting out. Well, you know what I mean, like starting out as a band. We haven't played that many gigs, maybe a few. But obviously we would have played a lot more if we could access these venues.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like negotiating with them, talking to them, get to know them on a personal basis instead of like send them an email and stuff.
Yeah, because emails can
they never reply.
The problem is with emails, like you send one or you make feedback on something and it doesn't tend to change much. So the only way I see change is if you physically go and talk to the people, talk to the promoters. What can we do? But obviously at the same time I've got to show that I'm good enough for this, so I'm like trying to craft the best like original music and paying out my own music, like paying out my own money, like to own savings to record music, and because I'm like I need to keep recording music to show that I'm serious.
It's all your back catalogue, isn't it?
It's obviously
So I said to you yesterday, I was like, when it comes to like booking festivals, people are going to look at your Spotify profile. What songs have you got? How many monthly listeners? How many streams are you getting? and that's how you get on festival slots and.
Because I do a lot of work myself, like, but it's like it's always not enough. Like, you put hours into like designing something for your Facebook, and then you put it out. So trying to get like people to take notice is really difficult. There's just so many people.
Yeah.
There's so many artists now, like, because everyone can do it.
Yeah. But what I've noticed of recent is there's also a lot of artists who don't put the same effort in. So they tend to be like, oh, why is this not working for me? And then they drop off and they slowly go in a different direction. And it's a case of there's a lot of competition out there, but there's a lot of people who don't have the drive, and they'll cut themselves off. And then all of a sudden you're in a pool of everybody who wants the next step. And you tend to find that builds the community of, well, we'll help you. So for example, come on our podcast, or there's a support slot, and everybody helps that point. So the competition tends to be the people that want to get further and the people who think they should get further. As long as you're in the category of you're working for it, there's nothing that'll stop you.
I'm kind of doing it for myself, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously my band and stuff, and because I'm giving them the opportunity to perform, and obviously social and all that stuff. And
who is your band?
I was just about to ask.
Because this is one of the questions we usually ask, and we've just completely kind of went completely off.
What happens when James open the podcast?
I've got with me today my drummer, Nathan Sharp, who's great. Obviously, this is your first like proper band, isn't it? So I'm pushing him to be the best drummer. I'm making him do stuff out of his comfort zone.
One song at the end, he's got me in sweats. Like the last minute or the last 30 seconds or so, it's just like, me going crackers.
Because my influences and drummers are like Dave Grohl and stuff like that. So I want like heavy drums. So I'm like, hit them harder, Nave, come on. You know what I mean? So like, because I'm a drummer myself, so I write the drums.
Who's the better drummer?
I don't know, I can't play it now. So. I played like jazz and stuff, so I suppose
we play two
very different
genres. So like,
I'm more like guitars and singing now.
When Alex could play, we played two different genres. So like, it's hard to compare, but I think we're both on the same level. When it comes to like, you
come to every rehearsal, so that's pretty good.
So you say you play guitar as well? Do you do lead or just rhythm?
It's kind of like lead / rhythm.
Right,
so I do a few lead parts, mostly rhythm. But my guitarist, who's in the band's Liam Mulpeter, who's the busker on Northumberland Street, who everyone sees all the time and stuff like that.
With the sunglasses. He's good at
with the long hair.
He's in Durham all the time and all. He just does metal bits to like back. He's good at it.
I try to make him tone down on the metal a little bit, because obviously it's like alt rock, our band, so we're kind of like, bring it down a bit, Liam, bring it down. And obviously I've got my bassist as well, who's Chris McMahon. He's a drummer himself.
3 drummers in the band then.
Every band can't find a drummer. It's because you're hogging them all.
All in one,
Sorry.
It's funny as
Liam's learning drums as we speak. So just before we take a quick break, we've got a section in the first part which is up and personal, and we're just going to know what your most personal song is that you've written, and what it's about, what it means to you.
So like which song I've written that's the most personal? Well, it's quite a few of them.
I said that you look fine, maybe.
I said that you look well, kind of.
Is that an album? Is that like an EP, or is that?
No,
that is one of the singles. That's the second single. Second single, wasn't it? 2021 we released that one. We've been releasing one a year so far, because that's all I could afford. But
it's a cool looking t-shirt, to be fair. Like,
we sold out. This is all sold out, so we can't like plug this because it's gone.
I saw it. Never mind.
I'm gonna make some new stuff though. I think my most like personal's the most recent one we released, Waiting for Something, because that was like the first one we proper did like in the studio. So we did that in Blast Studios in Newcastle.
Know it well. Just lived there for 2 weeks.
So we recorded that in March, I think, and it's about like finding hope. So it's like, obviously you're waiting for something, so it's kind of like waiting for that one thing that's gonna make you successful and make you happy in life. It's quite personal to me because it's the first one that got played like on BBC Radio.
Brilliant.
So it's like, this we're finally getting somewhere, because the past 3 singles didn't quite get any radio play. More grassroots radio.
But yeah, the BBC introduced it. It's like someone from BBC's listened to it, they've liked it, and they've played it. That's like it's a good.
So I think it was like 5 plays we got eventually at some point.
It was on BBC Radio Tees.
Yeah, BBC Radio Tees, and introducing on Newcastle, which doesn't exist anymore. But I know it's just Tees now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be like just a BBC North East introducing.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but obviously it's funded and
it's cutting in it. It's just like
nightmare.
But it's a good achievement.
Yeah.
I was the same as you, where like I've released 3 singles, 2 EPs and an album, and I didn't get a single BBC airplay. And then I released Home, and then that got an airplay. Maybe Blast Studios. That's where I recorded that as well.
I got a good blast. I got a someone has listened to your track. Nothing else.
I've had that for every single one I've submitted.
Because they were like telling me, they were like, you need it to be like loud. So when I was listening back to it, I was like, oh, that sounds really loud. And he was like, no, you need it to be like that. Like the guy who mastered it was like, it needs to be loud. So Andy Bell, he mixed it, and then Pete Mayer mastered it, I think.
He's good. He mastered my album, except for 2 songs. I picked my 2 favourites and got them mastered at Abbey Road.
Oh, right. Okay.
Cost a lot of money, but at least I can say Time Machines on Abbey Road.
You have to save a lot of money when you're a musician.
That's what I say. It looks like a luxury lifestyle, but it's really not. Our money goes in studios, and
it's all about investment, because you're the business, so like you've got to reinvest and invest in a business for
all the money that you get goes back into the band.
You've got to always pull back from the music and remember, like, there's so much more to it. Like, you've got to be your own business and self-employed, and
they call it a music business.
I mean, I'm a qualified primary school teacher, and I've been trying to find like jobs and stuff, but obviously I feel like I've been discriminated. Like, I've not been able to find a job in teaching. But like when I sit back and I'm like, full-time teaching, where's the time for the music?
Yeah,
but that's it. It's
so I was like, I go into full-time teaching, I'm going to be probably low mood. I did training, and I was like, have dark moods and be like horrible like night sleep, and
it's one of those.
I don't want to go in, and it's a lovely job, but like it's just underfunded and horrible. Even part-time, I was like, nah.
You either get all the money, no time, or no time and all the time and no money.
No time and no money.
That's the life of a musician.
I was like, with music though, you can work more beyond the hours you're meant to, but like get something out of it. You've written a song.
It's not just an hourly.
It's not just like you've marked a few books and you're like, oh, mint. They're not even gonna learn anything because you marked a book, and like, how are they going to learn from that if you just mark a book and just give it to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's like a whole different podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Teaching. But obviously, I could do like instrument teaching and stuff like that, but not quite there yet.
No,
I'm just a bit like, plod along, see what happens.
Keep your fingers in the pies.
But obviously, I was hoping like teaching would fund the music, but I was like, then you won't have the time. So it's a bit of a balance.
I work for the NHS. I've done for 3 months, 4 months, so that ties me over, and then I have this on the side.
Yeah, but you can market the music whilst you're on the ward. Mate, look at this music. Come on.
Stop putting flyers and like in with the dinners and stuff.
Get the old women involved and all that. Whoever's in the ward.
I have been plugging our music to my colleagues.
Colleagues, yeah.
They got played on the ward once.
Did they play it on the ward? Did they? Class.
It all counts as a play.
It's been played in hospital.
But we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with part 2, and we'll ask you a couple of questions from Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
See you in part 2 in a bit.
What's happening, guys? It's Conor Michael here, and to let you know that my latest single, Horse Outside, is available now, only on Spotify, because with it technically being a cover, it's not on iTunes. So make sure you stream it. For some reason, Glasgow's really took off, Newcastle not so much. Horse Outside, Spotify. Check it out. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Nay!
Welcome back to Off the Stage with Conor Michael, James Berry, and Is it the Alex James Band, or are you just Alex James?
We're just meant to be Alex James, but we say Alex James Band so they know we're a band.
Yeah.
Was it one of those things where you started off solo, just doing like alt rock, and then you thought, you know what, I'm going to get a band?
Yeah, it's quite a weird one because like for university I did like master's degree at Newcastle University. So we did like a bit of a punk rock / alt rock cover performance. So that was like cool. For my like end of year kind of performance. So like Blink 182 and stuff like that.
You've seen already.
Green Day and stuff like that. Then just one night I decided to try and write a song. That was Direction, the first song we released. And it just came out of nowhere. Like I just sat down and played a few chords, and I was like, I've written a song. Like obviously I had experience from uni, like writing songs and stuff. But I was like, oh, I could never do that. But then this song just came up. I wrote some lyrics, and I was like, wow, it sounds pretty good. Okay. So we recorded them for the masters as well. Yeah. Like kind of an EP masters thing. But that was never released like publicly. It was more of a like in university thing. But yeah, that's kind of
because it's just like it's usually you find because people who would call themselves like Alex James, and it's like you have the project first and then you get the band kind of thing.
Like some, I always say to my friends like that don't know us, we're like Sam Fender.
Yeah,
he got your front man.
He has Sam Fender himself, and then he has the band behind him.
Sam Fender wouldn't do an acoustic gig. It's always just with the band.
With the band.
Yeah.
And the band is known as Sam Fender.
Yeah.
But Alex James is basically my first and middle name. And
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Mine's Conor Michael.
Yeah. I didn't use my last name just because it doesn't sound as right. It doesn't sound as good.
Mine was taken on Spotify, so I had to change my name.
But then obviously Alex James, there's the cheesemaker / bassist of Blur, who's also called Alex James.
Oh yeah.
But obviously we're only a local artist.
Well,
we're not like bloody.
If someone's Spotify and Alex James, they'll be like, oh, Alex James, then they'll click on your song, just like it's free publicity. Just make a song sound a bit blurry, and then like.
To begin with, I was like, can I use that name? But I was like, actually, it's just my name.
Yeah,
it's my name. How can you copyright a name?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
Christ.
Yeah. There's been some things in the past where bands have had to. They've been going for like years, and they've had to like change the whole name. Horrible.
We had that with Neoelectrics. There was a band called it used to be called Violetrics. And then they got a cease and desist from an American lawyer.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
So they had all the merch and everything they had to change because.
That was nightmare.
Yeah. But.
So what would you say your favourite gig story is so far?
It would definitely be like our proper debut gig at like the Bunker in Sunderland. Main reason is like they made the stage accessible for us, like and set. Obviously, we found a ramp somewhere on Facebook Marketplace. We were like, right, let's get this ramp in, give it a go, and it worked. And we were like, this was like the first time a wheelchair or someone with Duchenne had been on a stage performing. Because obviously, we did a gig before. Yeah, we had done a gig in the past
at Stockton, at NA Volume in Stockton.
Yeah, which was pretty good.
Which was pretty good. But like the accessibility wasn't really good. We
made it work though.
We were just starting out. Like it was our debut gig as the four of us because I wasn't in the band until 2020.
I mean, I kind of, when I said debut, it was kind of like I decided we were going to do phase 2 of the band because like I was like, we've come from those 3 singles that we've released to like what we do now. Like we've kind of like improved massively since then. So that's kind of our debut gig was at NA Volume, and obviously we got on the stage and it was great. Like,
but we had to physically pull you up on the stage. Didn't we?
Obviously, we made it work, and obviously great lads who run it and stuff like that. It was
it's a tough one, isn't it? Though.
But obviously, this debut gig at the Bunker anyway was kind of phase 2 of Alex James because we'd released Waiting for Something and stuff like that. Well, we were going to release it, so it was kind of an up and coming gig for that. But yeah, it was great because it was like we made history. So to me, it's a great story to spread. Cause
I mean,
a wheelchair on the stage in one, and obviously being a person with Duchenne, it's never been done before. So I was kind of like,
I mean, within the gig, I was up behind Alex.
Yeah, I could never see it.
And he just stopped and just made this speech about the first wheelchair to be on stage,
like,
and
cheered.
My heart just went like.
I couldn't believe the audience as well. It was like, I don't know, it was like eye opening. Like they were like chanting back to me. They were dancing, they were singing. I was like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know, the atmosphere at the pub is great because like everyone's there for the same reason. Like there's other local musicians in the crowd who you can talk to, stuff like that. Obviously, it was a great gig. I wouldn't say it was like perfect, but like obviously it was the first proper like gigs in a while, you know. So it was a bit like,
that's cool.
It was. I don't know, you know, when your audience is actually engaging with you, it's different.
Completely different when you
like actually at university when everyone was like sat down and be like,
no one's really listening, and you're like, still playing your heart out, and you're like, mind your own business.
Like rocking out, rock screaming and all that, and you're like, what's the point? And people are like, sure. Yeah, but some people do that, like they actually do enjoy it, and they just like stand, which I understand. Like people have their own ways of listening, but.
It's tough when you're on stage and you clock that one person. Like I've done that where like 90% of the gig will be like up and about it, and then I see the 10%. I'm like, why do you not enjoy it? What am I doing wrong? And then you're in a little cycle in your head going,
we've got a little fan base going of like other people with like muscular dystrophy and stuff, particularly like younger people. And the mums are like contacting me saying, can you make me son? Can you come sign this? I'm like, bloody hell, my famous. It's technically like
a role
famous,
model, isn't it? Well, it is a role model.
Because they say my son started playing the drums because of you and playing guitar, and obviously that makes it proper emotional. Like
if one person, the thing is, one person do, because imagine it's like a condition where people go, oh, it's a point I can't, like you always get taught about your limitations. Whereas,
you do.
Whereas if someone with the condition sees someone else with the same thing doing something and being like, you know, being a head and being a front man in a rock band, it'd be like, you're like, you know what? Why can't I do that? Just like it's inspirational.
Disabled people in general and normal, shall I say normal, people need to lift disabled people up and just
embrace it.
Embrace the
change.
If you're in a wheelchair, if you're not, like this goes out to all disabled people. You can do whatever you want to do. It's just we're just two disabled people actually.
You were
doing because I've got cerebral palsy as well, so I'm living with a condition. So we are examples of our own disabled communities coming together and collaborating with each other
I think it's important to put it in perspective as well. Like obviously you can see someone else doing something, but it doesn't mean you have to do that. Like you don't have to be this massive artist. You just have to make music for who you are, and even if you're disabled, it doesn't really matter. Like, just do it.
I say, just
make it happen.
Say, don't be.
Obviously, I've had no like role models who have been disabled who I can look at and go, that's how it's done. But I was like, why can't it be done? I've always been a why person, always questioning things. Cause like,
it's what we were saying like, off the camera. It's like, obviously, like disabled people would have some limitations, but those limitations can be very easily squashed by just asking for some help. Everybody needs help. Just some people need help more in different departments.
Like setting up my equipment, I have to get someone else to do that. You know?
Nobody minds. You know, it's like
I know. Just ask.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the great thing, though. Like when you ask and tell them how to do something, they'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is great. Like I feel like when people see me in person and like I'm gonna go and meet these people and promoters and stuff, they realise he's actually a genuine person. But behind like social media and stuff and emails, they don't see you for who you are.
No, they absolutely don't.
So I think when I put myself out there, I'm like, I just want people to see me for who I am. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm not going to try and hide that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're still a person at the end of the day. If you're not in a wheelchair or if you're in a wheelchair, you
That right.
when we're all, I say to people, when we break each other down, regardless of gender, we're made of exactly the same stuff.
Yeah.
So
mainly water.
We're all the same.
Mainly water.
Yeah, we're all raindrops.
So,
we are.
So with obviously people getting to know you, we've had a few Instagram questions come through. One that kind of resembles what we were just discussing there. At Mrs. Berry Insta says, have you found that playing music has improved your mental/physical health?
Ooh. So especially singing has definitely improved like my physical health, or maintained it, I would say.
Right.
Because with do shedding, I should be on a ventilator by now, so basically I believe that singing
strengthening your lungs kind of thing.
I think singing like helps maintain your lung capacity and stuff. So obviously I've sung for like 9 years now, nearly 10, and I feel like it's maintained. It's gone down a little bit, but like not the big drop you'd expect with the condition. So if you feel like your heart and stuff, and obviously I think this goes for anyone really, like even able-bodied people, like it would benefit them because strengthening lungs and
muscle in it.
Well, unless you smoke, but like that kind of like defeats the object. Well, obviously I can't do that because my doctors would be like, what are you doing?
We've got at Stitch Redmond said, what's the last thing you listen to on Spotify/Apple Music, etc., whatever your streaming platform is?
I've been listening to the Guts album by Olivia Rodrigo.
Nice.
So I've been listening to what have I been listening to on there? I like Vampire, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I'll say the most commonly known one. That's pretty good. Like I listen to all sorts. Been listening to local bands from Newcastle, like Pale White, who I'm obsessed with. Well, I don't say that, but been to them 6 gigs or something like that. I listened to Sam Fender. Trying to think what else I listened to recently. Black Sabbath I listened to recently, nice. I think. So you can tell I'm like a range of different genres. Like.
What about yourself, Nathan? What you got?
I'll have to check. Actually,
other than parody songs.
Yes, because I was playing those in the car.
Your Spotify have to be Willy songs.
So on my repeated, I've got.
Oh yeah, I can just check
the Pale White. I listen to
Let's find out what mine is. No, keep going.
Hometown by Crypto Patrick. I've been listening to that quite a bit. Daisy.
I feel I'm being left out here. Like I'm gonna have to check mine now.
21 Pilots.
Social, but never mind.
21 Pilots is a good show.
How would you find out what you've been listening to?
There should be a thing on repeat.
I'm just gonna type it in. Spotify made for you.
On repeat.
My first song. No regrets, James Berry, the best ever folk rock band. At Stitch_Redmond_music_management said, what's the worst event in music history? The death of Lennon, the X Factor, Napster, etc.
I'm gonna go with X Factor, because
X Factor is probably up there.
I have a strong opinion on X Factor. Because people come up to me and go, you're gonna go and audition for X Factor.
You should go on X Factor.
I'm like, right, let me tell you, that thing that you sign, what do they call it?
Waiver.
Like contract.
Contract, yeah.
The waiver.
The contract, like I've looked through it before, and I'm like, they have control over you.
They own your YouTube channel and all your videos, even before X Factor. They own. So if you've got any songs on YouTube, they now own that song.
Exactly.
And the only way to get released is by asking Simon Cowell personally, and he can go, I'll release you.
Yeah. I don't want to be a sympathy vote either, because on the screen it's like sad music.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's dying. He's writing music. He's coming.
Ironically, you'd probably get quite far with it.
Yeah. You would.
Semi-finalist.
You would. Well, that is like a unique selling point, but I run my own business. I'm taking my own direction. Yeah. I'm like, I won't be controlled.
You want the music to speak for itself, don't you? So
I'm already controlled enough by the government, like, because I'm disabled. They have out for me, you know. Out for people like me.
Absolutely.
Go an X Factor.
Well, we're not getting to that, but X Factor. I'm glad it's cancelled.
Yeah.
Well, last week we had
Precious Ink.
Good lad. Not like we just recorded 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And they goes 3 questions to relay onto yourselves. Who is your favourite local artist?
Well, I think that's quite easy. Obviously, it's the Newcastle band, the Pale White.
Pale White, yeah.
Obviously, because I know them personally as well. Like, I've met them all. I've talked to them. They're canny lads.
Mint.
Always give us free merch.
I've tried to get a gig with them to surprise Alex with, but nobody came back to us.
We're working on that though. You're working on that.
You know? White, get on it.
It's quite hard though, like, because I don't know, like, with like supporting bands, like, you can put all your eggs in one basket and be like, I want to support that band, but sometimes it's hard because they have their own management and stuff like that.
Loads of obstructions in the way.
But I don't like say. Obviously, these are like dreams. You're like, oh, I'd love to support the Pale White, you know.
Yeah.
Please.
Begging.
Would you rather be yogurt or lasagna?
This is a weird one, isn't it?
I eat a lot of the yogurt. But I feel like I have like layers because I like quite
layers with all the
yogurt. You're a bit more fluid though. You can move about a bit. Whereas lasagna, you just piled a bunch of meat.
But lasagna is very tasty, so like
it is. How often do you eat yourself, James?
Well,
you have nothing left. I'd drink the yogurt.
It's like the Thomas, the Simpsons episode,
True, House of Horrors.
Only start eating themselves.
I know what you mean. With that to just a finger.
I might be yogurt because I can move around.
Yeah, slushing about.
Can mess people's days up, like spilling the bags and that.
And if you could see one gig through any point in time, which one would it be?
Have to be Live Aid to see Freddie Mercury.
That was actually the answer that one of them gave as well.
It's actually.
Yeah.
But it's obviously your personal preference.
I've watched that on YouTube like about 100 times probably.
Yeah.
I think I just watch it all the time because it like makes us emotional every time.
Have you watched the movie as well?
Yeah, I watched the movie. That made me sad as well.
Yeah.
But every time I see Freddie Mercury, I'm like, oh no, he would have made so much good stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe Michael Jackson as well, like a big Michael Jackson concert. Because like he's pretty sick.
I mean, the guy could dance, just, you know.
I know.
I kind of like to see Elvis's first gig.
Yeah.
Like the one that made everybody go, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Oh, he's doing that.
And like, because he broke into the whole, now he can dance on stage.
I'd absolutely be at the front screaming.
I know you would, chucking your underwear though.
When he's doing all the moves and stuff like that, you're like, yeah.
But I think that's kind of like your butterfly effect, because if you don't get that, you don't get Freddie Mercury, you bodge around the stage and all that.
Yeah, you know.
And everything kind of spirals from there. That's your big.
I feel like that was a very different time as well. There wasn't as many artists coming through. So it was like, if you got through, you got through kind of thing. Like Elton John and stuff like that.
Elton John would be a good one to see.
Yeah.
And we just need 3 questions for next week's guest, if you've got anything top of your head.
Obviously, they don't have to be music related, as the lasagna yogurt question demonstrated.
That wasn't music related.
It wasn't, believe it or not.
I'd say like, what local band would you like to support, maybe?
That's a great one.
Or maybe, I like saying local act because like, when you start talking about local acts a bit more, it
brings them up.
Because I feel like we talk about all the mainstream stuff all the time. So
they get enough attention.
That's why we've got this podcast.
Because I go to a lot of like local gigs as much as I can.
It's good.
I just love the atmosphere. I don't know why. Like, you can actually talk to a band.
Yeah,
you can go up to them and talk to them, but like if you see Fall Out Boy in like a arena, you can't go, right, I'll go talk to Fall Out Boy.
Save yourself £100 as well.
Tickets.
Yeah,
I think that went the one in Leeds. Obviously £80, but I got free carer tickets. So anyone wants to go to a gig with me,
just like
get a free carer ticket.
Mint.
So that's the first one.
2 more. That's my fault.
What's your go-to like food, like after or before a gig? What's your go-to scran? Say go-to scran.
It's usually Matty D's for me because that's the only place open at 3 in the morning.
Even kebab shops.
Even normally,
good like just meat tray of kebab.
It's like, you've got slightly raised cholesterol, but go to McDonald's.
German doner kebab on just up front of the big market.
Yeah, there's one around the corner now.
Have to be. Next time we do points.
I'm going to Cologne next week, and I'm hunting the best doner kebabs.
Yeah,
can't wait for it.
Final question, and we'll take a short break.
What's your favourite local artist, maybe?
Yeah, favourite local artist. Mint.
That's just the same as.
It's fine. It gives people a little bit more publicity. Thank you very much. We'll be back in part 3. Insert soundboard here.
Get yourself in, huh?
You're right now.
Welcome back to Off the Stage. I'm Conor Michael. This is the Alex James Band, formerly known as Alex James. This is James Berry.
Yeah.
Kat is behind the camera. You guys are still watching. That's great. If you're enjoying it, like, subscribe, leave us reviews. And what's part 3, James?
I think we're going to start with a Can James Fix It?
Yes, James can.
Yes, I hope. Hopefully, anyway. I haven't read this completely through, but we'll give it a go. So what I usually do is I go on Reddit, specifically usually art/musicians, and there's people have problems, musicians have problems, so we try to remedy that problem. This one is by user Neo2KR, and it just says, I feel inadequate. Okay. Hey, so it says here. This will be a little rant out of a depressed mood, so I appreciate everybody who takes their time reading it. Might be a long-winded one, but never mind. I'm 37 years old, and I've been a musician for only 5 years now. I started playing guitar in 2018, and I've gotten decent at singing. My guitar skills are nothing special, but they serve the purpose of what I'm doing for now. I'm at a point where I have a gig at least once a month, and I'm quite good at entertaining people with my guitar and a loop station. Did you write this? No?
Did he say loop station?
He did, yeah.
I thought he said whoop station.
I'm a very passionate performer.
No, it's not me. Turn up, snap a string, go home.
Yeah. What's
I
nagging?
have a dodgy G-string.
Yeah, exactly. What's nagging me is that I'm playing covers exclusively, and I have a really hard time to create something good on my own. I suck at songwriting, and I know they say you need to keep writing stuff, and eventually you'll get better. But I don't even have enough inspiration to write swear word songs about to improve on. So we're in a public place now, so I can't swear. It's like I have nothing to say, and there's no artistic or creative spark in me. Sometimes I'll write 2 lame lines, and then nothing else comes of it. I didn't have much of an exciting life so far, and there's not much inspiration to draw from. All I do is learn covers and then go through the motions. Then there's the other things that I lack, and I would consider making somebody a good musician, like recognising notes or chords by ear, harmonising, improvisation. I don't know if it's my age, but I find these things incredibly hard to get into. It's magic to me that people can just identify single notes by ear. How do you even start to practice that? These things give me a hard time considering myself a real musician, since I'm just copying someone else's creative work. Anyway, sorry for the lament. It's just one of those days. So how can we help this person? So it seems he's only been learning for 5 years. That's absolutely nothing really in long term. To be fair, you come. How long have you been learning? How long have you been learning guitar?
I picked up a guitar in 2017.
18, 19, 20, 21. So he should be doing better then, shouldn't he? No, well, he says he can play guitar at a decent level, but 5 years
better than me, then.
you're still learning. You know what I mean?
I picked up sticks in 2004.
That's easy.
That's a long time ago.
But I think the main problem is, I don't think the problem is like the guitars. He can play a guitar and he can perform cover songs. I think what he's getting annoyed at is he wants to have an artistic spark. He wants to have inspiration. I think he's struggling to find inspiration.
Don't worry, there might be another pandemic on its way next year, so you know.
I feel like he's looked at other people and thought that's what I need to be.
I think that's exactly it. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Like,
be your own person, unless you can be
Bob Dylan.
Quoted James Berry. The main thing he goes on about there is struggling to write songs because he's got no inspiration, nothing to write about. Right there is your inspiration. Write about the fact that you've got nothing going on. Write about the fact that things are slow. Call it slow time, and just about how you've got nothing going on. Once you write that first song, the second song will follow, and just go on a roll of where you're currently at.
My
in
life
terms of,
then you'll look back and be like, wow. Here I am now.
I can actually write a song. Yeah.
In terms of picking out chords and notes, nobody can actually do it. They just pretend they can.
Yeah. They just hit lucky and just kind of.
That's tuned to me.
I was meant to do that.
Us drummers don't even know a thing when it comes to. when it comes to.
We talk music.
What?
When you talk music, you're like.
Yeah.
What?
When we're talking chords and all that, I'm like just like, not my thing.
You just hit the drum.
I just hit the skins.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's it really. Just like it. Yeah, just don't give yourself such a hard time. Just and there's another cool little trick. Like you start a song, you don't have to write about personal experience. Write about the story. You can make up a story, kind of like I mean,
about someone.
Yeah. Find like a good little tactic is you find a page in a book and you just read a random line out of that and start there, and then that kind of like snowballs into kind of read like to say something, the cat fell down the hill, then you've got a foundation there for a story. So why did the cat fall down the hill? He was pushed. Who pushed him?
Jill.
The dog. Yeah, Jill pushed him. And there you go. Cat pushed the Jill down the dog, or Jill pushed the cat down the dog. I don't know.
Cat pushed Jill down the dog. Is that
what cat pushed Jill down the dog.
James,
that's my brain going like. That's my brain thinking more than what I can actually say.
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to like write songs on the cuff in my head, but I didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
But I wish now that I wrote some of those lyrics and that down.
Always have a notebook
because,
I've got like obviously my notes is connected to my phone.
Record everything, man.
But I've got like a section where it's just like
lyrics
and stuff.
Yeah,
I've got a folder full.
It's just constant like loads of different like lyrics, and then they'll get added into certain songs, and
it's like she's a fine woman or something like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's
some rubbish.
Even if it's a terrible song, just make sure you finish it. Then you've got a song.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
That's the thing I struggle with the most.
Yeah,
really
I'll get past the first verse and go, that was.
I'm not gonna lie and say, I finish every song I write. I've got all these.
No, that's why my songs are 2 minutes long.
You gotta be realistic. There's life to take into consideration.
Absolutely.
Biggest procrastinator in the world.
So So I just write stories. You don't have to write personal things. Make sure you finish a song, and I think we fixed that. I'd like to say we fixed that.
I reckon so.
Yeah, I've got to stamp that down as fixed.
Can you please start releasing an album called Cat Push Jill Down the Dog?
Cat Push Jill Down the Dog. I'll write that song. I'll bring it out next pub table sessions.
Mint. So we said this episode's going to be due out on the 5th of December. Do you have any songs or shows that you'd like to give a little plug out?
Well, there's nothing coming out as of yet, but we have got a song that we just recorded in October. That's potentially coming out February time.
Brilliant.
Then after that, potentially we've got an EP coming. But obviously that's going to be the end of next year, because we're going to try and release like a few singles over the year.
Yeah.
To make the most out of it. If you just throw it out there in one go, it's not going to go anywhere. So we're trying to make it in a way that's going to bring people in. Like each single do something different. Potentially we've got an EP coming. Obviously I've potentially applied for like funding for Next Gen Fund, so hoping they'll accept my proposal and be like, right, let's give them a chance. So obviously musicians have a lot of problem with like finances and stuff and affording to record songs, so I'm just hoping this can boost what we're trying to achieve.
Spot on.
Mint. And do you have a recommended local artist to give a shout out? We've already had Pale Waves, of course.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that you've worked with? Pale White, sorry. Am I thinking of?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Waves.
Pale Waves. I don't think there's any band.
There's one called Pale Waves.
There's one called Pale Waves.
Yeah,
that's why I'm getting mixed up with.
I like Pale Waves as well. They're not local artists.
No, they're not. They're slightly bigger.
I'd say obviously Failed to Ignite. I like his music.
Yes, Nathan.
Who else? Kieran Bowie, I like him.
Yeah.
Tom A. Smith, he's doing really good from Sunderland.
He's alright, I suppose.
Yeah, breaking out, doing things. Who else have I seen? Yeah, Crooks are good from Newcastle.
I've known
Abnorm are good, yeah. Good friends with Abby from Abnorm.
We're good friends with the guys from Crooks. The drummer used to be Alex's old drummer. So
Joe Reid. Give him a shout, Joe Reid.
But
who else? Trying to think who else I've seen. I've seen a few people like.
You've been to many gigs this year.
Hannah Robinson, I think she was called. I saw.
Yeah,
she was really good.
I've never met her, but I've seen her name on every poster for every gig going. Very hard working musician.
There was a D-Mob Happy from Newcastle as well, but I think they're getting a bit more popular now. I've just gone through a full list of things I've seen.
Check them all out. And if people were to follow the band on social media, what's the social tags?
So the social tag is It's Me Alex James on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm trying to get a TikTok going. A few silly videos on there. You can go check that out.
We have a fan page as well.
That's on Facebook, but
we don't post on it very much. But, because we've got busy lives out of this. So, but that's going still. So.
I mean, everyone else in the band has like other things they do and stuff, but obviously my thing's just Alex James. I just do this all the time. It's my business.
That's cool.
Hope to bring out more merch and that soon, and so keep an eye out for gigs and the announcement for our next single.
So keep an eye on that. Potentially looking February 2024, where I'll be rivaling Alex for my next single as well. Thank you for coming down, guys. It's been very good.
You're very welcome. It's been great.
No problem.
If anybody hasn't already, follow us. We are at Off the Stage UK on all the socials, at Off the Stage 2 on Twitter. We never got that sorted. We just pretend that we did. We might have a song in part 4. We might not. We're in a bit of a public area where it makes it a bit more difficult to record without being a nuisance. So who knows? You might get a song next, but you might not.
Probably will.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
very much. On the next bit.
James.
We'll see you later.
Insert soundboard.
Bye. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sat here wanting to break down that door. I'm sat here trying just a little more, waiting for something to come my way, waiting for something to come my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm waiting for something to come my way, yeah. I'm waiting for something to come my way. Yeah, ba 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 da ba 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 da.
Hey, this is Busted, and you've been listening to Off the Stage.